Hi there everyone, Josie here, Life at 50 and Beyond. Thanks for joining me here in my channel where you will find mostly affordable, practical, and easy DIYs. On this video, I will be showing you how I will set up 3 styles of hot drink stations. Whatever size of space you may have, hopefully I will be able to give you some inspiration. I also have some other suggestions and options in case you do not find any inspiration here. For the first one, I'm using a small space or nook in our kitchen and set it up as our hot drink station. And I'm using this caddy that I DIY'd a couple of months ago. And I'm including the excerpt of that video here. Using 6 wooden signs, I'm going to be connecting 3 together twice. So 3 and 3, because this is going to be 2 levels. And this is going to be a caddy. I'm going to be using a combination of hot glue with either E6000 or Fix All as well. And I'm just going to be lining them up together. I'm using this Fix All. You can buy this at Dollar Tree at the hardware section. Make sure that you have proper air ventilation because this one really is odorous and you may get dizzy if you're sensitive. So I just want to make sure I give you some caution there. So after I apply a generous amount of Fix All, I'm also putting some generous amount of hot glue to reinforce my connections. And then I'm pressing again with my fingers and then using some clips, binder clips, to adhere them better. So I'm just going to be doing the same thing on the side here. And I'm just going to do this in fast motion and then leave you with some music while I do the other set as well. After I let them dry overnight, this is how they turned out. And I have a 3-compartment shelf. So this is going to be 2-tier, and I'm going to be using, like I said earlier, as my support, this 2 paddleboard shaped cutting boards or the plastic cutting boards that they sell at Dollar Tree. So I'm going to be putting them on each side. Here, combination again using Fix All. I am going to be applying to the side. And then I'm going to be applying also my hot glue. So I placed the paddleboard cutting board on top of my workspace so that I can see the bottom lining up to my wooden signs or my shelves. And I'm just making sure that I line them up properly and the bottom edge of the cutting board aligns to the bottom of my shelf. So I'm pressing again with my fingers, making sure that it is secure. And at this point, because of the hot glue that dries fast, it's going to be a little hard to move at this point already. So that's why I made sure that it already lined up. Next, I am going to be assessing or eyeballing where I'm going to be placing the top tier so that I have enough clearance also, not just at the bottom tier, but also where I'm going to be putting my handle. So I just want to make sure I have enough clearance on both tiers or both trays. So here, I'm just repeating the steps I've done on the other one, applying my Fix All as well as my hot glue, then pressing with my fingers to make sure that the tray adheres to the plastic cutting board. And then while it's in this position, I am applying the Fix All as well as my hot glue on both of the shelves or trays. And then I'm going to be placing on top the plastic cutting board and making sure that that board lines up to the board on the opposite side. Using my fingers again to press to make sure that the glue adheres. And then I'm just trying to see if it's leveled. And then I'm drying it overnight on its side, not standing up like this. Then after overnight of drying, I am going to be painting it, and I have this Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen. I got this at Amazon, and I am going to be linking it in the description box below in case you're interested. I love this color a lot, and it matches the color of the cutting board, although I'm going to be applying some of it to the cutting board just to make it a little bit more even. So I am just going to be applying a couple of coats of paint onto this wooden signs or my trays / shelves. And here it is after I applied a couple of coats of paint, and I'll probably do a little bit of touch up later if I see that there are some areas, but I think it looks okay already as is. Then I'm going to be putting in my handle. I used the rolling pin that I got at Dollar Tree. I gotta use what I have, but you can also use the handle of the toilet plunger that they sell at Dollar Tree. As a matter of fact, I've used that already on some of my projects as well. But since this rolling pin is a little shorter than the width of my caddy, I have improvised it by adding on each side some cardboard cutouts. So that's something that I cut out from a shipping box, the one that's thick. Don't use thin cardboard or else it won't hold it. So this time I'm going to be using my E6000, and then I'm applying my E6000 on each side of my rolling pin, my extended and improvised rolling pin, that is. And then I'm also going to be applying hot glue for faster bonding, but the more stable bond will be provided by the E6000. So that's why you have to combine the E6000 with the hot glue so that it dries fast with the hot glue and then binds better with the E6000. So put as much glue or be generous with your glue if you are going to do this, because again, this is going to be the handle and it'll carry the weight not only of the caddy but the contents in it. Another option would be to use a sort of a screw that can fit through, and it'll be more durable than using glue, but epoxy should be durable as well. It's kind of like liquid nails. And here you can see me also trying to reinforce more through the hole where the perimeter or the ends are, and yeah, that should be covering it well. And here also on the opposite side here, I am doing this to the edges and not on the one that doesn't connect to anything, so it's the connection that I am reinforcing. Then I am pressing both ends together with my fingers, and then I am drying this again overnight. I am going to be painting my handle, and to give a little bit of contrast, I am going to be using this Waverly paint or chalk paint. It is the elephant color. Originally, I was going to leave it unfinished because I like the natural look of the rolling pin, but I decided to paint it in gray or this elephant finish so that I can use this as a contrast, and since I'm going to be putting the buffalo checks, it will blend better. And here it is after a coat of paint. And I'm just going to show you again, that's the Elephant Gray by Waverly. Here, I am just going to be tracing with my fingers where I'm going to be placing this wrapping paper. And I am just going to be kind of pressing it, more like a crude method that I have used so that I can just trace the indentation there, the border from the cutting board, and then just using my nails to mark. You can use any sharp object, but I feel that the fingers would be better so that you can really feel where it is. And then I'm just going to use a pair of scissors to cut. Then I'm going to be using my paintbrush, and I will be applying this Mod Podge, and that's how I'm going to be attaching this paper onto my cutting board. I'm just applying a generous amount here of Mod Podge, then just making sure that when I attach my paper, there's not a lot of air bubbles, and then I am applying Mod Podge again on top of it. To camouflage the ends of my handle, I am applying this nautical rope to finish it off. That'll cover any imperfection on those edges. And to cover the holes, I'm also winding the piece of this nautical rope, and then just to cover it up, kind of like creating a button to cover it, kind of like the other one that I did 3 years ago. That's how I finished it off. So I'm attaching it and repeating the same style or steps on the opposite side. And here it is. I love how this one turned out. And it has 3 compartments on each level, so a total of 6 compartments. And I'm going to show you, I am going to be using this to organize my K-cups. So I have these decaf K-cups that I am organizing. In each row, it can fit up to 6 pieces of these K-cups. And so for each tier, I have 18, a total of 36. And I love this style because it goes with my style. I'm going to show you that I can use this also to organize my tea bags. So here I'll just be lining up all of our tea bags of different flavors. So it's up to you if you want to use it this way aside from K-cups. So I kept the K-cups below on the bottom tier and then the tea bags on the top tier. So just to show you how it is set up right now, I have the crystal ginger drinks in sachets, as well as some hot cocoa packets on the top. And then at the bottom, I have my coffee pods. Actually, you can stack up some coffee pods, at least 2 rows, so that they don't topple over at the bottom. That's what we've been doing, so that we can have more. So here are my hot cocoa packet, and this is the honey ginger crystals, and that's another ginger crystal drink. And here, I've shown this in the past, I purchased this craft organizer from Michael's. I got it for $6 or $6.99 with coupons, and that's where I placed our single packets of other flavors of teas. And I placed also a cup with the stirrers here, my sugar container, as well as my creamer. And on the left, I used the tray that I got at Home Goods. That's where I placed also our kettle, as well as the single cup dispenser for our coffee pods. And then I used this top portion, our cupboard, with all our mugs and cups. So I think the advantage of using your own kitchen countertop, if you have the space, that you can actually use your existing cabinetry to store your glasses, your mugs or cups, and you don't need to store them in different spots. And I even used that kind of wire basket to expand it. I got that at Ross for like $6.99. And this nook is situated right next to our refrigerator. Actually, on the left side, that's our refrigerator. So I love that this is positioned in a very functional way. And below the counter, the drawer has all the extra supplies. I just want to dedicate this segment to thank our sponsor today. It's MiLin, and they sent me a couple of products to review. So this one here is the kettle that you've seen on the setup. And I will be showing you also on the next setup. And this is a 1.7 liter maximum capacity. And I like that this kettle is see-through. It's made of glass. That way I could already see if it's dirty. Because sometimes the kettles that are made of aluminum or ceramic, you won't be able to see anything inside. You really have to inspect and sometimes it's hard to see if it's dirty. This has a maximum temperature of 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and you can adjust it to your desired temperature. So now I am just turning it on, and I think it defaults to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. And I love that there is an LED light underneath. It's colored blue, so at night you will see it if it's on or not. So this is already on its way to full boiling point. Perfect for a hot tea. And then you can also keep it warm. Some kettles don't have a keep warm function, and this one has a keep warm function. So it's perfect if you want to make more tea after your first cup. You don't have to heat up the kettle again. So here I am testing it with a tea bag that I have. It's green tea and it is piping hot. Now the next product from MiLin is a humidifier. Nowadays, especially when it's getting cold, I love using humidifiers. And I like that this is not too big, because some humidifiers can be really large. And this one is very compact, perfect for a bedroom. So I'm just going to be removing this adhesive tape that is part of the packaging, so just be careful. Do not use this right away without removing that. And this is the inside chamber, which is where the electronics are, or the electrical connections, and also the control. So I am just going to be hooking up the adapter, and then I am just going to plug it into the wall socket. This one is where you're going to be putting water, as well as maybe add your essential oil. And what I like about this humidifier, it is not just a humidifier, it's also functions as a sterilizer, and it kills bacteria and some form of viruses. So just go to the link for more information on what type of organisms it can kill. So the top chamber connects to the bottom chamber, just line it up, and then the top cover. And the hole on the top cover can be actually turned around into 360 degrees wherever you want to position it. And then the control, the power on button is just at the bottom. And you can control the one-touch power and one-touch sterilization. And this unit is so quiet. Here's the actual sound. The noise you hear from the backdrop is my noise. I love the whisper quiet sound, so it's perfect in your bedroom if you want to sleep. And it turns off on its own once the water is gone. So I give these two products 2 thumbs up. And I want to thank MiLin again for sponsoring this video. Please check the description box for the links to the products for the Kettle as well as this humidifier. And I have some discount coupons that you can use. On to the next setup. On this one, I am going to be using sort of a baker's rack / microwave stand. And I'm going to be using this monogram tray that I got at Home Goods long time ago. I would say maybe over 10 years ago. And I like it because it's tiled, so even if I have some drippings, then it will not damage the counter. And this is where I'm going to be placing my single pod dispenser for my K-cups as well as that kettle. And I'm going to be using this 2-tier tray. Got this at Target. This is by Hearth and Hand, Joanna Gaines. This is a new purchase and I love it because it's kind of like a butcher block and it is really very functional. And this is where I'm going to be placing my creamer, my sugar, and I love that it has plenty of room for my things that I would need to use for this hot drink station. So on the top, I am just propping up some cups. So I'm going to be placing probably 4 or 6 cups on top. And right now I've propped up only 5 pieces. And I have a theme going on here. It's more like a gray, white, and black. And another Target buy, this is from last year. I got this flocked tree at Target Dollar Spot or Bullseye Playground last year, and I think I paid $5 or $7 for it. And here I am just propping up some of my K-cups in one of my ceramic bowls that I already have on hand. And you may need a bigger container or kind of like the organizer for my K-cups earlier that I showed you if you have a full-size K-cup or coffee pod dispenser. In our family, we are more of tea drinkers. That's why I'm using this latest DIY. I'm going to be inserting in the upper right hand corner the iCard and also in the description box the link to the DIY. And I created this using the wooden box drawer cubes that they sell at Dollar Tree, and for the handles I used the Amazon finds from my stash. And this is where I am placing the tea bags that do not have a foil or paper cover or wrapper, and these were just, you know, tea bags that are kind of bare. So I will be putting labels in each box depending on the flavors. And I love that the tea containers or apothecary sits comfortably on the top shelf. Now here's an idea for you. I got this recipe box and I painted this, and I will be linking also in the description box in the upper right hand corner the link to the DIY when I did a flip on this old or thrift find. And this is where you can store also your extra K-cups or coffee pods, and this can contain around 12 pieces. And here is another idea. This one is another thrift find and I just cleaned it up. This is a wicker square basket and it has already been stained, and this is where you can also keep the extra K-cups or coffee pods. So it's just giving you another idea on how to store your extra K-cups or coffee pods. To decorate the wall right above this baker's rack or microwave rack, I just DIY this Dollar Tree item here, and I am going to be linking in the upper right hand corner the original video on how I created that frame using Dollar Tree items. I love how this hot drink station really works out, and I've used my secondhand or thrift store finds as well as my DIY Dollar Tree items, and also some of the things that I purchased, and I love it a lot. So this one here is an old kind of like a treasure chest, and I painted this, and I will be also putting in the description box what I did with this one. This is like a thrift flip or upcycle, and this is where I placed extra kitchen towels. And this actually is a great storage for your kitchen towels, and I've also shown on that video how I use it to store other things. So I also have this towel from Dollar Tree, which I'm going to be hanging on the side of this baker's rack. At the bottom or below that one, I have this bread box that I created using an empty cookie tin. And I just painted this with chalk paint and used the Dollar Tree nautical rope on top and added the poster board letters from Dollar Tree to spell out bread at the front. Now here is where I'm placing my recipe box that now has some extra coffee pods, and next to it is a DIY vase. I actually used an empty jar of pickles and I painted it in buffalo check style, and I used that to hold my faux lavender flowers. I love it. And below that, next to the bread box, is actually another flip where I used a can and painted it in chalk paint, and that's where some extra flowers or lavenders are. So if you need a coffee station but you don't have really enough space on your kitchen countertop, you can definitely get yourself a baker's rack. Whether you purchase it brand new or secondhand, it will be functional. Just clean it up a little bit if you're getting something secondhand, or repaint it or refinish, and you'll have a beautiful piece that you can use as a hot drink station. And just to show you again on top what I placed in my tier tray, it's not decorative but it's functional. I have the sugar, the creamer, as well as my stirrers. And everything in each shelf, they look decorative but they have their own hidden function. I love it because it's not only functional, it's also decorative and it's pretty to look at. So its high-end look makes it really appealing. Even though some of them are secondhand and some of them I DIY using Dollar Tree items. And here's a trick for you. Combine purchased items like the Heart and Hand 2-tier tray that I have, as well as my home goods tray that lasted over a decade already, and some thrift finds in order to make your space functional and affordable. Practicality or functional and beauty combined. And just want to show you, this is where I hung the towel so that it's easily accessible. It's just right on the side or right below where the tray is. So if you have the extra space to spare, a baker's rack or a microwave stand is the way to go. It's not as expensive as buying high-end cabinetry. And here is a smaller size of microwave roller cart that you can move around. This style actually is similar but smaller size than what I showed. And this one has a butcher block and a cabinet below it. And the next one that I'm going to show you is an idea if you live in a smaller space. And this actually is a roller cart or rollaway cart or a crafting cart that I have DIY'd. I'll be linking in the upper right hand corner and also in the description box below the link to the video when I made this utility cart into a crafting cart. So this cart is really functional and you can make it into anything. So today I've just emptied it up and I am going to be utilizing it as a hot drink station. That is perfect if you have a small space. So I am just going to be placing this glass cutting board that I got at Dollar Tree. And I love that it has a coffee theme. And this is where I am going to be placing my single cup dispenser. Just an FYI, this single coffee pod dispenser is also perfect for making tea. So just do not put any coffee pod and just use the water that it will dispense for the hot tea. Next to it, I'm placing my creamer as well as my sugar. And also, I will be placing my wooden stirrers that I place in a Dollar Tree ceramic cup. On the second or middle shelf, I'll be using this die-cut style gray book holder. And this is where I'm going to be placing my Dollar Tree coffee mugs. I love these coffee mugs. They're the perfect size. They come in gray, white, and black. This book holder is the perfect size to hold 6 cups stacked. And then I'm just placing it this way. And then next to it, that's where I'm going to be organizing my coffee pods as well as my tea bags. This is from Daiso. And this one can hold up to 15 or 16 coffee pods. It only cost me $1.50 to purchase this. Now, if you do not have a Daiso near you, Dollar Tree also sells some pail containers that you can actually use. I'm just using what I have on my stash. And then I'm going to be using a matching style. And this one holds some cards or stationery. But I'll be using it to organize my tea bags as well as my hot cocoa packets. So I'm rearranging them where they can be easy to find and within easy reach. Now at the center, I place some more of my tea bags that are placed in some tin cans. And these are the tea that are not in individual sachets or packs, and they are in beautiful containers anyway, so I place them here as well. So this is the middle tier, and on the bottom or third shelf, I'm using two Dollar Tree containers that have lids. My apologies, I thought my camera was rolling when I placed them here. So this is where the extra tea and the K-cups or coffee pods, as well as the extra stirrers are. So they are the extra supplies. I love the die-cut design, and I love that they have the lid so that they can be stackable. And next to it, I want to organize these paper cups that I got at Amazon. So if you have extra guests, or if you want to prepare your coffee on the go, you can actually put it here as well. So again, the bottom part is for the supplies. I use a skinny white basket from Dollar Tree, as well as that gold wire basket from Dollar Tree as well. So I'm placing the paper cups inside the basket, the wire basket, and also the plastic lids that go on top of the paper cups will be in the skinny basket next to it. So I'm done filling up all the shelves. Now you can use labels as well if you want to label each shelf, but I don't need to do that. Again, if you're in a small space, you pretty much know where things are. Now for the extras, now you see the bottom wire there. I'm not going to be using it here because I am also going to still keep this as a crafting cart, so I didn't want to remove it and then reattach it later. But if you want to put something there, you can actually put scissors there, and I have shown that on that video. But on the top, I removed all the ribbons and I kept the dowel, and that's where I hung my towel. And you can pretty much adjust the height of the towel. You can put two folded towels there, or you can put more dowel rods and then place more towels. Stack them all up. And if you want also, you can use this rod for your paper towels, like what I'm showing here. This roll of paper towel is a little thin, and I think that's pretty much the size of what you can get at Dollar Tree. But this is the leftover from our kitchen. I just removed it from the rack and I just hung it here, just for demonstration purposes. So you can use this for the paper towel or the real towel. I love how this one turned out, and let me just show you again from the top what it looks like. And I'm just adding this faux flower inside a sake ceramic decanter, and this is the perfect size of decoration. So of course I just needed to add a little bit extra to make it a little pretty and welcoming. And if you notice what I did in propping up the dispenser, I left enough space on that glass cutting board so that if I am trying to mix coffee or any drink, it will not spill on the top of the shelf, like so. So let me know what you think about this setup. I think this is really very functional, even though it is small. I like the fact that it is mobile and you can move it anywhere. It has a handle that you can push. I'm gonna try to find the link to this product. And I know that IKEA sells the Raskog, Michaels, also Target has them, or you can find them at Ross. But I love this particular design because the handle is not obstructing the top, so that I can place my single coffee pod dispenser. I think other designs will have the handle at the center, so that will be obstructing. I think the perfect one also is Raskog because they don't have the handle on top. But like I said, this is something you can push around when you're entertaining. Even if you're in a bigger space, not just a small space, this is something that can be functional. And as you can see, you can just push it where the wall socket is, and then you can make your coffee. I know that this is already smaller scale, but if you still do not have the space, you can use the foldable TV table or tray, and you can just prop it up as a drink station. And also, if you want, you can add tray on top to corral things, or you can use this foldable tray. It's a bed tray that you can use as a tray as well, that the legs fold and you can put it on top of that TV tray table. Or if you still don't have space, you can use this as is and put this on top of a cabinet or a counter. There are so many other things that you can actually use. Just use your imagination. You can use other things, maybe an old desk or an old vanity or an old hutch, to convert them into your hot drink station. So I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please share to anyone who may be in need of this type of projects. Please comment down below which one is your favorite and what type of space do you have. Do you think you would benefit from a hot drink station? Let me know your thoughts. And I hope you all are having a great day, and thanks for joining me here today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe, and don't forget to click that notification bell icon so that you will not miss any of my new uploads. I would also appreciate it if you can follow me on any of my social media accounts that I'm showing here on display. Have a great day, everyone. I'll talk to you again on my next video. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye!